Huge misconception that financial freedom has something to do with money, but in reality, financial freedom has everything to do with choices and creating better quality choices in your life. Imagine your life was filled with choices, the choices to live your values and to spend your time doing the things that bring happiness and contentment to your life. Now, for me, I've been working on this in a massive way over the last 10 years, but really been working on my values and understanding myself better over the last couple of years. And what I've found for myself, and it might be similar for you, is that living a life in line with those values where you make positive choices in the direction of things that are important to you brings a massive amount of happiness, contentment, and obviously the journey is bumpy. There's hard days, there's hard weeks. There can sometimes even be hard years, but what financial freedom really does is enables you to move up a level and to start to see things, to start to see the woods from the trees or the trees from the woods, and to start to get some perspective in your life. Now, for me personally, choices really fit into three major categories, but for you, there might be some other things in your life that are important as well. Now, for me, the number one thing that financial freedom will allow me to have is more time to spend with my family, who is my absolute rock and foundation. Now, I put my wife and my 3 children in that category, as well as my dog and my cat, but also family to me is friends, people that I get to work with in this business over time, and my extended family as well. Now, the choice to spend more time with my family, to drive my kids to school, to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off every week, to take 6 to 10 weeks of holidays per year adds massive amounts of value to my life and gives me that energy and that sort of vibrance that I need to keep doing what I'm doing inside work hours for my family when I'm here. Now, the second thing that's very important to me personally is contribution. Now, for me, contribution is my businesses. It's about creating wealth. It's about helping other people to connect the dots like yourself and hoping that, that pay it forward model goes throughout society. Contribution for me is about getting financially free, about doing business and work that's meaningful for me, and about helping as many people as I possibly can. Now, the third major value or foundation in my life is really around health and looking after myself, and that is in relation to eating, it's in relation to sleeping better, it's moving better, it's exercising, it's breathing. For me, it's yoga, boxing, surfing, it's Pilates as well, training with my friends, hiking. Yesterday at lunch, my brother and I climbed Mount Coolum, which is just down the road from our office. I did it with a 12-kilo backpack on, definitely feeling it in the legs today, but financial freedom is really about these choices. Now, whatever the values are in your life, not having to worry about money takes you out of a fear mindset and into the present moment and enables you to do more of what's most important to you without that cortisol kicking in, without that fight or flight mode kicking in, without having to worry about going and seeing that person in that office environment who you can't stand, without being scared of starting your own business, or without being scared of, taking the plunge. Now, for a lot of other people, like my mum, for example, she's got a massive value around travel because she absolutely loves it. And she's got a massive value around volunteering. A bunch of years ago, she spent some time in Africa at an orphanage, and I think she's planning on doing that again next year. Now, my values, because I get to do business, which I enjoy every day, and as you know, property is my absolute passion in my life, are already being lived. But for some of you, you might be doing something that you don't enjoy in an industry that doesn't interest you, or a role that is a little bit more or a little bit less meaningful for you, that is, causing you angst or mental anguish, or, just taking you further away from the person that you ultimately want to be. So for those of you in that situation, like I was before I started my own business, that pretty much hate what you're doing and have a different vision for your own future but don't know how to live it, financial freedom allows you to get those choices in your life sooner, to cut down to part-time work if you're just not interested in working like everyone else does, or, changing careers, or taking that pay cut, retraining yourself in something that you enjoy, or even taking a step back and not doing any work for a while and trying to figure out who you are and what it is that's interesting to you and how you want to contribute to society and the world in a positive way. Or maybe you've had a part-time or a full-time business idea that you've been wanting to go through, but like myself, you've got a family and responsibilities and kids in private school, and therefore you've got costs in your life which force you to continue to have to work in that high-performing, high-income job. Again, financial freedom takes the pressure off the role, so that if you decide that you don't want to do that anymore, or you want to do it part-time, or you want to do it as a contractor, or you just want to move completely out of that, you have the choice to do these things. It's very, very powerful to maybe sit down tonight or this weekend and really think about your life and think about how would you spend your time if you could do anything. Now, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult without professional help, truly understanding what your values are and working through all of the things that are important in your life and really simplifying it down to the things that are going to bring you the most happiness, contentment, and fulfillment. But taking a step back and just sort of starting to jot down what your ideal day would look like if you could do anything you wanted to do, what your ideal month would look like, or your ideal life or year would look like. And for me, I used to spend a lot of time doing this exercise, sort of, initially writing out goals and then sort of just freestyling like what my ideal life would look like if I was financially free, if I had abundance all around me, if I was achieving the things that are important to me in my life. Now, I know it's a bit airy-fairy, but sometimes sitting down and creating a vision for your future that is exactly how you want it to live, or to live in the future, enables you to just get perspective and go, okay, these are the important things for me. These are the common themes. Every time I've done this, it always comes back to spending more time with my family, traveling more, having meaningful time with friends, as well as being present, looking after my health, and having great businesses, as well as lots of different money from lots of different sources coming into my life to enable me to continue to do the work that I enjoy and to help more and more people in the future as, my vision for what I want in my life continues to grow and expand as well. I believe financial freedom allows you to do better in your own life. And when you do better, you can live better. And slowly over time, as you start to lead by example and live your life in a way that is meaningful to you, and I'm not talking about happiness all the time, I'm talking about a life that is meaningful for you. I'm not talking about millions of dollars a year coming in and driving a Bentley or a Lamborghini. I'm talking about a life that would actually make you happy, stripping away all of the stuff that society says that we need and finding what it is that's most meaningful for you. And I believe that the more people that get to a state where they don't have to worry about money, that they can do work that they're passionate about, they can spend more time connecting to people that are in their lives that are meaningful to them, which enrich their lives, and they can look after themselves better, then slowly everything in society becomes better. Because I know that when I was living in fear, when I was living in a headspace where I felt there was lack and there was something missing in my life, as opposed to now where I truly believe that I can set a vision for my future and also be present and focus on what I already have and grateful for that. It is just such a different way to live, such a different way to be. Now, my wife and I were talking about this last night, and unfortunately, generally the loudest voice in the room wins. And so many people that I know, I've been hearing and listening to, things in the media, I've been hearing and listening to things on social media, and just general chit chat in my life. So many people have bought into this hype that life is negative, that the future is going to be worse than the past, that, the world's filled with killers and psychopaths and murderers and rapists, and, the whole planet's going to eat itself and throw humans off the planet, and, fire or flood or whatever else is going on that's been going on since humans were first here. This voice at the moment is just so loud in our society, which is telling people to be smaller, to live in fear, to worry about all of these things that are external to them, as opposed to stopping, slowing down, you know, finding voices that are meaningful to you, finding voices that, you know, you can work with or walk with on your journey towards your future and actually get you to where you want to be, because there's such a big difference there for me. And that's why years and years ago, I stopped listening to mainstream media. I stopped engaging in those conversations, and I stopped surrounding myself with people that were cutting me down, that were coming from a fear or a lack mindset, that weren't moving forward in their lives. And that's tough when some of those people are very, very close to you, but sometimes limited association with those people, either in your direct family, your extended family, or your friendship groups, or maybe your groups at work and work colleagues, can just be what you need to sort of step back, create some stillness, slow down in your own life. And what I've found, that once you start to slow down, to take a breath, to create moments of peace in your mind, all of a sudden, all of this intuitiveness comes back to you, because you know what you truly want. You know what type of life you want. You know at the moment that you're probably settling for a lot of things that are below you and that don't align with your values. And I can promise you this, if you're prepared to do the hard work, instead of trying to fight or instead of running away, just sit in the uncomfortable moments in your life and know that they're growing experiences. If you listen to stuff like Jim Rohn or Dennis Waitley or Tony Robbins or Oprah or Eckhart Tolle or Gary Vee or Jamie Oliver or any of the other amazing people out there that have this beautiful values-based approach to helping other people, all of a sudden you can start to help yourself. And I think that is one of the biggest things and the biggest blessings that I've got. You know, when I stopped focusing on myself and I started focusing on my why, my vision for my future, on helping other people and helping my family, everything that I ever wanted started to come back as well, which is absolutely insane and I'm so grateful for. So financial freedom has nothing to do with just money, because money is easy to access. I once heard that if they divided all of the income or money in the entire world across every person in existence today, every one of us would have about $3 million cash in the bank, or even more than that. So there's plenty of money out there. And whatever your hang-ups about money are, whatever's blocking you from achieving financial freedom now, you know, I wrote something on my mirror a few years ago with my wife, which is the more you have, the more you have to give. So just focus on that. If you don't have to worry about going to a job for 40 hours a week anymore, or 50 or 60 or 100 hours a week, then the more you have, the more you have to give. And that could be money, it could be time, or it could be a skill set that enables someone else to achieve the spark. So instead of looking at what other people are doing, instead of, avoiding what it is that you truly want in your life, I wish for you to just stand in the present moment, to decide what it is that you want, and then to consistently, with discipline and focus, work towards what it is that you want in your life. Because I can guarantee that the day you have more income coming in passively than you do from your job is the day that completely changes your life. I wish you all the best. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please give it a thumbs up, and please share this with someone who you think it would be worthwhile taking a look at. But I truly wish you all the best, and always invest with confidence.